Okay, folks, when it comes to Zatima Season 4, there are some fans who have been saying something I've been thinking about as of the past like 3 to 4 episodes, and that the Leslie storyline, while it is like, whoa, it is definitely giving Lifetime vibes and whatnot, snapped, or I didn't know my neighbor was a serial killer vibes, or obsessed. It's good. And Lindsay, who plays Leslie, is eating up the role. But as Courtney is showcasing his writing talents, showing that he not only knows these characters, but he knows how to advance them with great storylines. And the deeper we go into season 4, the more out of place the Leslie storyline seems. Like, don't get me wrong, it is good so far, but it just seems like a distraction. I feel like it was placed into the show for that intensity. Like, okay, you know what? The story's good, but we really need something a bit more that will get people hooked. Like, we need some danger and whatnot. And I want to do a separate video on the topic of, based on Courtney's writing for the characters, I could see Zatima going for 9, 10 seasons, give or take. But that's a separate video in itself. But I will say this. When you look at a character as intense as Leslie, and in terms of what, the writing is doing for her character this season, this ought to be it. What I mean by this ought to be it is, I don't think we need any more characters representing what Leslie does. And that's a ex, a one night stand, or a best friend from back in the day who returns in present day and is deranged for one reason or another. Zatima doesn't need that. Quite honestly, Sistas doesn't need that either. But if I were to pick a show for this kind of storyline to maintain existence in, I would say Sistas. Because the way that the show has been going so far, Zach and Fatima are dealing with challenges that seem extremely relatable. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some people who can relate to having a Leslie situation. Maybe not on the same level of an obsessed stalker who's trying to, steal your life. But, maybe a friend who's really a hater or something like that, or whatever the case may be, they wish they were you, or yada, yada, yada. But I'd much rather see Zach and Fatima deal with the struggles of balancing romance / love, the challenges that come from, a pregnancy, becoming new parents. And here is honestly my favorite part of the season so far: learning balance. With Zach is more like the balance of work and being at home. What did Fatima say? I know you're building something out there, but don't forget we're building something, here. But then also Fatima, not only in terms of learning how to be less independent and allowing people to, help her and whatnot, but also her potential career change as well, going from like criminal law to entertainment law. And if things go well enough, maybe perhaps pursue a singing career of her own. Those are the kind of challenges I really like to see. And even, with Tony, even though it's only been a small part of the season thus far, him dealing with the guilt of taking that young man's life who tried to rob him. And whether or not he can, go about living his life knowing he took another, even if, like, as Mr. Tyrone said, hey, that was self-defense. Like, don't worry about it. And Nate, trying to reconcile things with his wife, and Angela potentially dealing with a body imaging storyline, or Connie with cancer, and Jeremiah with his addiction. Those are stories that are far more relatable than the off the wall, jumping the shark, just ridiculousness of a Leslie character. And don't think that my critique is just related to Leslie. This goes to the likes of Gary and Karen and so many other characters, or Jasmine from Sistas. But I really do think that Leslie should be the last time we have a character like this in Zatima. We don't really need this kind of thing anymore. From now on, we can just face or see our favorite characters face realistic, relatable challenges as they go forward from season 5 and beyond. But that is just my personal opinion. Because, like I said, I just feel like the Leslie storyline is like, okay, we're going into season 4. We got some good stuff, but we do have this Leslie and Malachi thing. How do we handle it? And you could tell there were some changes because when they first got introduced, it truly felt like both of them were nutcases, especially Malachi. But now Malachi is apparently mellowed out, and I don't even know how often or if we'll ever see him again this season. But only time will tell. So what do you think? Do you think that the Leslie storyline is going to, I don't know, resolve itself quietly? Something tells me no. I mean, this woman is just planning something, but I don't know. I just feel like we don't need this kind of character in Zatima after this season. But also, if you have seen spoilers, leaks, or episodes, or whatever whatever got put out there, don't spoil anything. Please don't, because I don't know what's happening later on this season, and I don't want other fans to be spoiled either. So, with that being said, let me know your thoughts on Leslie and her storyline this season, and if this should be the final hurrah for this kind of drama in the show. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video.